Introduction. How does our biology affect our behavior? That is the question biological psychology aims to answer, from the role of the brain and its many brain areas, to the role of neurochemicals, to the role of sleep. This book will be exploring a very wide range of topics to answer this question. But I've heard from a lot of people that our biology doesn't affect our behavior. This couldn't be further from the truth, because if it was a lie, then I wouldn't be able to write 25,000 plus words on the topic. Also, I've heard people say this isn't proper psychology, and psychologists study the mind. Again, this is another understandable misguidance, because psychology studies behavior, and if our biology affects our behavior, then psychology will study it. Why this book? I know what you're thinking. This is just another biological psychology book, and it is, but it isn't. If you want a long, boring textbook to explain biological psychology to you, please don't buy this book. Instead, if you want an engaging, easy-to-understand book on biological psychology that will explain the field in depth but in an easy-to-understand way, then please buy this book. Plus, this book is on its 3rd edition, so that's plenty of great content for you to enjoy. Whether you're a high school or university student, a trained psychologist, or someone else interested in psychology, then you should certainly get something out of this book. Who am I? If you've read any of my other books, then you know I always like to include this section because I like to know who's talking to me when I buy a book. So in case you're like me, I'm Connor Whiteley, an author of over 30 books, and 12 of these books are psychology books, ranging in topics from biological to social to clinical psychology. Also, I'm a university student at the University of Kent, studying psychology with clinical psychology and a placement year. Finally, I'm the host of the Psychology World podcast, available on all major podcast apps, where I talk about psychology news and different psychology topics each week. So now the introduction is done, let's start learning about the great topic of biological psychology. Part 1. Introduction. 2. Biological psychology. Chapter 1. History of psychology. Before we can learn about the present knowledge in psychology, we must first learn about the past. Whilst it's very hard to pinpoint the start of psychology, we know that interest in human behavior started around 400 BCE, when Plato decided to use the term psyche to describe the mind and soul.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?